And we start by saying YouTube. What's going on? It's your boy, Booda. Back in the building for another POWERCREEP podcast with my co-host. We got Tweaks.
What's up, fella? What's up? Hey, are we live? Oh my gosh. Oh, sorry.
In the building. You thought I was just saying that for myself?
Oh, yeah. No, of course not.
But we're back. Booda gang. Chat. Hello. Yes. Do you want to do your coveted intro since it's been a while?
What's my coveted intro?
Oh, man. It's just like passing you the mic and
yeah,
you
man,
just
I don't think I've ever done an
it.
intro. What do you want me to do?
Boys.
No, listen, we can't just change things up like that.
Look, the people in the chat.
I'm not
know,
emotionally
man.
stable enough for that kind of thing.
It's all right. We tried. I tried. But, yes, chat, ladies and gents, we are back in the building for another POWERCREEP podcast. It has been a while since your boy Booda or Tweaks. No, well, you've been on the screen quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm playing around.
Yeah. But we have an entire collab in Last Cloudia currently. I know many of you were waiting for a podcast last week, but your boy Booda was on vacation. Last week was a bit of a weird one, I must say. I don't know if you agree, Tweaks, but your boy Booda just kind of dropped a very special video and then dipped for
10 days?
a few days.
Bro, you left the ball hanging there. People were just like, what's going on? I mean, it was pretty clear, but
Yeah.
I don't know, it's kind of funny.
Definitely.
And I love how people were like saying, okay, like, I get it. If people didn't watch the video or like listen to what you said at all, like, all right, Booda Quit. That's it.
Yeah.
Boom, bang. I'm like, but that wasn't what he said.
No, not quite.
Like, we're still gonna do stuff. What are you talking about? But, yeah.
It's just, it's too much that's been invested into Last Cloudia, into building the Booda gang, into our friendship, Tweaks, right? Because we're friends. I don't just use you for content.
But are we friends?
Yeah.
We're friends? Oh my goodness.
Yep.
You make me cry.
Listen.
All right.
I look out for my people. Anyways, but we're back in the building because there's a lot to talk about. I also went on vacation, so that was a reason that there was no podcast last week. So we've got quite a bit to talk about.
We also discussed it. We could do the podcast Sunday night or whatever. And we're just like, nah, like the newest unit's coming out in like 3 days, so we might as well just do that as well. Make it a podcast with like a bunch of stuff. This is pretty much like the whole collab in one, which is cool. I like that.
Exactly. So,
because I know you and I did the DMC one, and we were like, well, we did the Virgil podcast last time, and then it was like, okay, the new podcast we're just gonna do just Nero. That's pretty much it.
Yep.
And then the time trial was like the third week, and I'm like, we're not doing another one, so I don't know.
Exactly.
I think this will work out. I mean, it's a little people wanting opinions on Luke and Stahn and Yuri and all the Arks and stuff. So
yeah, because there's been a little lack of content going over those units and whatnot. So
yeah, yep.
We definitely have, I'd say, some thoughts, insights. You more than me. I can't lie to you guys. I did get pretty lucky.
Don't lie to the people.
I did get pretty lucky, as you can see. Both of these snagged on tickets. I made a community post while I was overseas. But you can just kind of check out the SC counts for both of these guys to get an understanding of
you at 50?
My dedication to the game right now. But luckily, we have tweakers ready to save the day. Put us in his backpack and go over these units.
I just decided to get more units.
Yes.
In the midst of being frustrated with the game, I still decided to grab the other units.
I was a bit surprised.
Yeah. When I messaged you, I was like, oh, I got it all.
I know. You sent me the DM.
You're like,
I
what
was
are you doing?
All right, well,
What are you doing?
you
It wasn't that
freaking
bad.
addict.
What are you doing? Yeah.
So, how do we start this off? We before we went live, we were talking about not doing 3 full unit breakdowns. Right. I think that would put everyone to bed in about an hour.
Yeah, I think I got an idea.
Okay.
So I think what I want to do for Luke and Stahn and the older Arks is kind of point out what's special about them and what's interesting. I don't think we need to go over their kits. I think people in the community have probably gone over them enough. I think I may still do videos about them. So
nice. We
don't need to, but we should definitely point out what's cool about them, and then we can go over Yuri and the newer Ark. So,
like it.
With that said, I think most people probably here have seen or heard of the ratings we give them on the tier list. So they're both very, very good, in my opinion, as well as the guild's opinion on how they are. Right? We value them quite highly because they are part of a newer power creep that's going on with Adel, Vayne, Virgil, Nero. That whole power creep deal with their offensive power prowess and their DPS is currently happening. So going over, even talking about how powerful they are, it's easy to see why they're rated so highly. So Stahn is going to be your single wielding fire DPS. Great. Here's what's special about him. He has his Swordian device on his trait. It doesn't jump up that well in level very quickly for not boss battles, but non-boss battles, single enemies. He needs to be in his best scenario to jump that up quickly. He needs to be hitting more enemies at once. He needs to be hitting enemies on boss waves a lot. Now you can build it up pretty quickly outside of that, especially if you have SCT regen stuff like Honey Elixir and dumping that into him. But when I've used him and I found him, and using him on boss waves with multiple enemies, which is where my ideal position where he would be in one of the ideal positions he would be in, he raised that super quick, which is great because it not only boosts your cap and overall device effects, but to boost your SCT regen. It gives you a skill stock every time you raise a level. That's 6 levels worth where you can snag an extra stock, and it just continues the barrage, right? He's a single wielder, so he's gonna have some pretty good. I mean, I guess that's not true for all single wielders, but he's gonna have some pretty good multipliers, not splitting up his damage, and he hits really hard. He's got like 80k caps, if not more, against weak enemies. And I think people have been showcasing him around like 104, 105k damage on physical attacks against weak enemies, which is crazy. Being able to boost him up that high. His skills are very fluid and very spammable. I enjoy him quite a bit using him. He's definitely probably, and I would say this off the rip, he's probably my favorite of the 3. Counting Luke and Yuri at the moment. Now Yuri's not fully built. He's only Awakened 0. He does have full SE and all that stuff, so I will have to come back to that. But Stahn hasn't impressed me. He's also been in the community. I know. Shout out to my guild member, Marksel, LN3000. He did a little showcase on him soul clearing maze level 30 with him, and it was a really, really cool time. And then I think Conky made a video based on that. So like, you can't hate the guy as a single wielding menace. He is extremely strong. And he's very, very. He doesn't have a gap closer at all. That's literally my only gripe of him. But he's very strong. Yeah, he's very similar to Adel to me. And I know a lot of people that will throw a lot of people off because they're like, "Oh, we don't need units that are like the same right after each other, right?" But having strong units in a row is still good. We have content now for people who don't care about maze, who don't care about multi-unit, multi-team content. Then yeah, maybe this seems a little underwhelming, but I don't know, man. I'd like having more, for me, especially for someone who does like that kind of stuff. I like having more options, right? Yeah, he's really strong. So another aspect of him that is quite good is his break. Like and I say quite good because he is by far the best single wielding breaker unit that we've ever had. And keep that in mind, that he's not going to be able to compete at the very top level of the Gobbles, the DXRs, the Murrins, like the Zykes. He's not going to be there. But he is very useful for break if you build him that. Like, he has... let me see this real quick. He has Breaker and One Blade Breaker 2 innate, which is a lot of bonus. 150% here, 50% here. He also has... Oh, where's this device at? Heavy. Yeah, this one. So at SC level 6, he gets another additive 150% break, and then you add on One Blade Breaker, and then his pay does get one as well, a little 100 plus 100% additive, and then you stick an arc on him again, another additive 100 or 120% from the Phoenix Blow, Terra Grana Seas arc. It's solid. I don't hate it at all, which is good, because normally single wielders have an extreme disadvantage when in their break, and he definitely does not. So definitely usable.
Did you do your base break test with that sheet that you made?
I haven't actually done that yet, but I mean, just from playtesting, it seems pretty dang good. And being additive, it's probably going to be a lot more because it's not multiplied by double with dual wields. So it's gonna. I need to get the numbers back on it, but it's gonna be pretty good. But yeah, he's solid. And he got a very strong score on the tier list because he is just very fluid. I've been enjoying him quite a bit, and I know a lot of others have been enjoying him quite a bit. And yeah, solid unit. So I mean, he's one of the ones that you could have pulled off the free ticket. There was no bad option on that versus him versus Luke. It's kind of cracked. So he's great. And now let's move to Luke, right? So Luke is getting a little bit more traction, I think, in the community. I think Stahn's very, very straightforward. I think Luke has a little bit of the roundabout, niche mechanics that make him really good if you know what's going on in the game, but not as good out of the box if you're trying to compare them in the same kind of scenario, right? He's a light attacker. He's an innate dual wielder, and he likes pursuits. He has things in his kit. This is what makes him special. He has things in his kit that make him want to use pursuits, or extra attacks as the game is now calling them. So the things that are going to be why does he want those? He has Meteor Force, which is okay. The first part, regular attacks get a powerful light extra attack. Yeah, sure. But that second part, that extra attack damage plus 50%, that's for all extra attacks or all pursuits. Extra attack boost is 10%. Extra attack boost 2 is plus 20%. So, what things that we have talked about in the past, things about, Icy Guardian, that pursuit arc, it gives pursuits on crits. We got Heaven's Bow Starlord, which gives pursuits on crits, or extra attacks on crits. You have many, not many, but, you have weapons that give extra attacks on regular attacks. You have units that give things like sabers buffs called sabers from the TOM collab that give pursuits on regular attacks. There are a lot of things in this game that amplify damage based on extra attack hits and not quite damage cap increasing things. And he takes all of those and multiplies them by 1.8 at minimum, which I think people should realize that that's a lot of extra damage just boosted straight up. Not only that, he has some incredible with the pursuits and with the crazy damage potential that can have. His trait, actually, this FOF buff is probably the most incredible thing for him, right? So they don't even tell us really what the FOF even means. I know probably people from the Tales of series maybe knows what that means, but I still haven't known what FOF stands for. The thing is, on every skill hit in your party, he has a chance to get a one-time use, repeatable, one-time use FOF buff on him for the attribute that skill hit or magic hit has procced it, right? It's a 0.6% chance for every skill hit in the party. It's a 0.35% chance for every magic use in the party or magic hit in the party, and it will give it for the attribute that is hit, right? If you have a full party of multiple, even Lukes or even other units that, especially if for a weak attribute of the enemies, he's going to be starting getting those boosts quite often. Now, what does it actually do? Deal powerful extra attack of the attribute when the next skill is used. This is quite literally a 98 to 100% chance attribute pursuit, or a powerful extra attack on the next skills all of its hits. That means on its 30 plus, on his 30 plus S3, if his buff is up, that's gonna essentially double the hit count of that skill. He's already dual wielding with like 30 some hits. 60 plus, essentially, for one skill. Very repeatable. Yeah, it gets pretty nuts. And then you add in, we haven't even counted in the pursuits on that. His hit count can get pretty wild. His damage potential when that's up is very wild. And I know if you guys have used him in multiplayer, and you've seen, multiple Lukes in multiplayer, multiple other units in multiplayer that share a weak attribute of the enemies, he's just going to be ripping through. So he's a very fun unit to me, because you can build him for the crazy things that, the min-maxing, the skill gap stuff that it comes with understanding the game and eking out all of that extra damage. Now, he does have a certain mechanic called the OL gauge buff. And I think that's definitely, even on top of all the pursuits, even on top of all the FOF damage boosting, he does have this. So this is going to take, we discussed the need or the necessity of needed skills to boost this up enough higher. It is based on the SCT gained from the skill stocks that you have been used. So this only has one level, as opposed, I know people have said, Yuri has like 4 levels of this. This is only one. So, but whenever he uses this, he will get 10 seconds of super armor. Now you can extend that if you feel like it, but 10 seconds of super armor is pretty nice, especially for a unit that has the ability to get it back pretty quick based on their SCT counts. So the over limit gauge buff that you'll see on his unit himself, before you can actually use this and activate the over limit buff, is going to get raised. He's going to get the buff itself by using over 75 SCT worth of skills. That's what happens. It's kind of hard to explain from here, honestly. So I'm just going to bring this in here. We'll just show it real quick. And this is going to lead into Yuri, because it's pretty much the same mechanics. It's just that Yuri has 4 levels of it. Oh, I did that. So let's see this. Auto off, thank you. What he's going to do is we're going to use 2 of these, and then 1 S2, and we're going to have the buff. Reason being, these both have 28. S1, S2, and S3 both have 28 SCT. I believe S1 has 11, and he needs to actually reach 75 SCT used in skill form to reach the buff level. So this is like... Oh, not only that, his S3 has a suck, which is great. It's not big. It's not a huge centering suck, but if enemies are small outspread, it will send to them, which is cool. And why don't I try to showcase that?
I know you like your suck.
See, look at that. Rip them all both in another spot. So you see how I have the buff? I have used 3 or 2. I think 3. Regardless, I have the OL buff up. So let's see this real quick. Get out of this menu. This guy, OL buff, O gauge level 1. Sure. Same thing. I have the light FOF. Actually, this is I already got the light FOF. I mean, having a 30 plus skill hit count and a 0.6% activation, it means it's going to happen quite often, to be honest. So, reel it back in tweaks. OL gauge buff. We're going to activate the over limit, and now he's going to get 10 seconds of super armor, which of course only works when you're using skills for him. See if we can get another buff. No extra buff, but we regen after we let the other one back, or the OL buff go off. We regen another one. So this is kind of interesting. He basically has a max capacity of the over limit gauge 1 regenerable, so he doesn't go past that. And once you get that, it is a buff that you can choose when to use it for 10 seconds of super armor, which is dope because I'm a big fan of super armor. You're probably a big fan of super armor. It is conditional. It does make you go get it. Like you can't just have an innate like Super Nero or Shift Nero who can cast it. You can't get it innate like Roland, like Shift Lancefell, like other units we've seen. Base Millen, but it's pretty strong, and it's a nice usable passive, especially with the damage output that he has. Having Super Armor even at any time is really nice. So FFF sick. He's pretty sick. Yeah. He can get a lot of pursuits. And if you want to, of course, these are the arcs that I was mentioning before. The Icy Guardian arc, which is, as we've talked about, as you know, Booda, we have literally known this arc to be one of the most powerful ones in the game for so long because of the extra pursuits. And now he just makes it even better, even against resisted enemies. I mean, he can use Trishula straight up for free. Like, it doesn't cost him anything. It's already light effective. It's a light weapon. Light weapons just work very well with dual-wielding innately light units, and that's really strong. So, Icy Guardian, obviously one of the best pursuit arcs in the game. And then Heaven's Bow Starlord, of course, if you wanted to give him, especially a bow and damage against weak point boost and extra attacks on criticals. It's a little bit weaker than at base on Icy Guardian, but it's a neutral pursuit anyways. And he gets boosted 1.8x, which is crazy. I guess we didn't go over their pays, did we? Ooh, rip. Honestly, I don't even use his pays on him. That's the funniest part.
Nice.
True Sword Excalibur and Paladin Bow are two things that you can grind up in the game. These are the two that I've been using on him. Deadly Choker's been using on him, and this is an AER from the Vaz arc. So, I've not been using either of them, which should show you that you probably don't need them. Yeah, I'm not even go over them because I'm not even using them. Stahn, on the other hand, just reeling it in real quick. On the other hand, I am using both because these are pretty good. I like the break. I like the damage cap. This one can be replaced by others, but having nullifying criticals is pretty nice for things like Arena. I feel like using him there. There's definitely other meta units, but if you have him and you want to use him there, that's fair. And then some cap and fire boost. That's all I gave him. But yeah, pretty solid units, and like I said before, if you guys have seen him, his rating on the tier list, there was a lot of discussion that came into making that happen, and they're strong. They're both very, very strong. You should know that us giving Nero and Virgil 9.3s, 9.4s, Adel's 9.5, 9.6, somewhere around there. And then these guys both getting 9.3s, 9.4s. Everyone that's getting released, except for DD, everyone's getting released is very, very meta in what they can do for your account. So strong units for sure. Twice, want to go the other arcs, Booda?
Talk about
Battle of Eldrant. What's special? What's special here?
Tell me, bro.
I mean, some. So, I've listed, I think in the tier list, I kind of wrote it up, a little description. Armor blind resist. I like that. Honestly, I don't think it's necessarily chaseable. I just think it's a nice, interesting little side thing that they're doing with ailment resistances, and adding not just the poison or the blind resist and blind nil. That's the only way to do it. They are adding conditionals, which is cool. I like that a lot. This for my existing and will not lose. I really don't find this that effective for 5 SC at all. That's pretty much all I'll say about it. We cannot see eye to eye. This is also 9 SC for 20% anti-damage. Yeah, it takes less anti-damage taken. If you have, this is more like a luxury stuff. If you have or need the damage, and you don't really know what else to put on, you're relatively new, this is going to be pretty useful for you. But for most people, it's 9 SC for 20. I know it's damage mitigation, but yikes, no. So most people probably will not be equipping this most of the times. So that's for learnables. The passives aren't that crazy. The Chrono symbol, this one's actually interesting. This is the one thing that I like the most about the arc. For niche scenarios that are going to give you ailment effects. And there's a lot of places in the game that, especially if you want to solo content, I know it. Marksel and Kokogankagin showed this in their video about beating Maze 430, where maybe the boss can stun you a little bit. This just protects against that for 3 times, and it could save you instead of adding in a bunch of SC to dump in and be nil against ailment, you could just throw this on. So it has its uses. I don't think it's generally like it's hugely applicable, but definitely useful. Yeah, I don't really love the passives itself with the learner. I don't think it's a very good equipped arc to be fair. Ultra Chronos is the one that people have been talking about. That's pretty solid. Active skills or passives, they're not bad. Basically any big physical attack boost, especially if you're going with a bunch of sword users, is going to be good. And then you get damage versus guarding enemies and damage kept to non-guarding enemies. So it works. Definitely works as a usable arc. But then its learnables are stacked. These are all very, very good learnables. This is the first time we've seen Fire High Drive, and that's going to be useful. I mean, Stock Skill 2, Sword Equip are going to be great for just general learning from other arcs. Swordian Might and Sword High Boost, and now we will end the battle, which is a really strong last 3 skills of an arc. Swordian Might is only usable for attribute attackers or attribute weapons, really. So it does give the 15% attribute all attack damage to that attribute when whatever attribute the weapon it is. But it's again only linked to 1 swords. So I don't mind that it's 5SC. I think 5SC 15% attack damage, all attack damage is pretty nice, especially if I'm going to be using units like Stahn, who can just straight up is a single wielding like a sword user with potentially a fire weapon. It's just gonna be pretty easy damage. Sword Eye Boost, having that on a second arc is very nice. I know we have that on Sword of Corpses, and people will look out for that. So having that here is great. Now we're in this battle. This is like the counter one to Time to Kick Some Ass, I believe it is, in the DMC. So where that's like the fast first 40 seconds, you're going to get a physical damage plus 20% buff. This is 40 seconds and on. And of course, after incapacitation, you'll have to reset it. But for 6SC, it's really not that bad, especially if you're anticipating it being a longer battle, like Places in Maze, you might want that. Yeah, not a bad skill at all. These 3 are actually pretty strong. And then Fire Drive, I mean, it's a very stacked learnable skill arc, which is great. As for the AR, I don't think this is very impressive at all. Sure, light attack damage, and critical rate plus 3%. Sure, strength 2, 17, dark attribute weapon. I mean, we don't have any dark swords, so I guess that's fair. But this is something that I would not chase for the arc itself. Okay. Little review ski now. Hope you guys didn't mind me like kind of burning through them and not really showing too much, but they're strong units, Luke and Stahn both, and getting either of them on the free ticket is kind of cracked. Like I know we've seen in the past with other collabs like Persona, like what's the other one that gave us a free ticket? Oh, the Dr. Stone one back in the day, the second rerun. This was by far the most valuable one. I mean, that's the thing. I think Joker and Morgana are both fantastic. I just think they need a little bit more to bring them up par. Just straight up getting a massive boost of DPS from either Luke or Stahn whenever you're first beginning. And even for endgame players, they're both very, very usable. Like, that's high value. What do you think, Booda?
They are very cracked units for today's game. So, once again, it's a wonderful time to start playing LC.
Yeah. When you can just reroll for whoever you want, one of the 2, and then just snag the other 2 on the ticket is pretty cracked.
And having both of them and using them, albeit passively, like Stahn does what you want him to do. He hits very hard, very easily. You don't need a lot to reach those big damage numbers. And then Luke just has that. He's got that scale where even if you use him casually, he's going to be great. Has immediate access to Trishula, which matches his element, which is nice. And then for people with tools that can bring out that extra potential, like what you talked about with his extra attacks, he just gets pretty crazy. So 2 very good, fun, physical DPS units.
Sure.
And now we have a third.
And now we have the third, the one that just came out today. First of all, need his souls, and I did forget to do this. Earlier, so we're going to awaken him just a little bit. We're going to top him off. No wonder I forgot he was a level awaken 0. Rip. Give him a little love.
Give him a little flair, man. You can do a third one, too.
Earth dual-wielding DPS. So,
Yep.
Earth, which we just had Vane. So I mean, what are you gonna do? We just had another fire single wheel attacker, another light dual wielding DPS, and another earth dual wielding DPS.
I know you said like that doesn't bother you so much,
Right.
and it shouldn't, because once you get to end game, it's just like you have the tools to make any unit work regardless of elements and whatnot. But what are your thoughts? Like, do you feel like it's just peculiar decisions?
I don't know what they're doing. I think they're trying to stay focused, or they stay consistent with what they view the unit should be.
It's just,
and I think it just so happened that
coincidence.
The units right beforehand were all those elements or attributes, and now we have these units with these attributes. Now, of course, they can change it, sure, but the design process takes a bit for these. The design process for all the units take quite a bit. So they're not just going to willy-nilly just straight up change a unit's attribute just because these units just came out before. Like, the collab was planned. I mean, they have a stock of units that they're going to be releasing. The collab needs to have what they want the game, or whoever they're collabing with themselves. So I don't love that they're all the same crap coming out, but it just happens. Of course, many of us have been like, where's the good ice DPS? Where's for sure that is the main one that just does not have any. I mean, even Thunder nowadays doesn't have that much either. Yeah, sure, Lagrange, but like no really strong physical DPS. I mean, I would argue probably Dark too. I think Joker's still probably up there, but hopefully we'll get some soon. But I don't know, man. It's a tough ask. I would have loved for him to be something different. I would have loved for any of these to be a little bit different. It is basically a color swap. It's whatever they want it to be, but who knows? So, Booda, did you pull for him at all?
I did, actually.
You did? Did you?
I did. I started the morning with 86k. Used the login tickets we got. Farmed all of the tickets from the event.
Huh?
Used those 11,000 crystals and walked away with nothing. No Ark, no Yuri.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. So
R.I.P.
It's once again all on your shoulders, my friend.
Mm-hmm. So as you can see, guys, we have Yuri Lau here, and we have another sword wielding soldier unit. So that makes like 12 in a row. It's getting ridiculous. We played Sword Cloudia, boys. Don't worry, we played Sword Cloudia. But if we want to go in a little bit deeper review on him, I don't think I've fully fleshed him out enough. And I mean, I had my stream this morning right after release. We delved into exactly what he could do, and he does some solid DPS, and he's very very relevant to how powerful Stahn and Luke are. The thing is, even if he has that honey elixir, like full ether restore-esque mechanic, and he has the gauge buff mechanic and stuff like that, those things are gonna make him very good, very very give him longevity, and having dual innate and being able to use Trishula whenever he wants, great, awesome. I guess in my voice I'm probably sounding a little bit disappointed because I cannot use him to his full ability in an instant. He takes a lot of work to build up to get to dude. I just looked over your chat from the morning because I wasn't looking up. What?
Carry on. What were you saying?
Bro. I hate you so much. That was great. Anyways, back to... Congratulations. Anyways, we got an S1, S2, S3. So he does take a little bit to jump up into his effectiveness. His oil gauge buff is multiple levels, unlike Luke. So he'll need to gain, 75 SCT work multiple times in order to build it up. It gives some pretty nice effects. but he takes charging. He takes building up. He takes skill stock use. And this is why they gave him that full Ether Restore-esque, it's called Ether Burst. They gave him the full stock refill in order to even get there. So, it's... How long were you sitting there before I noticed?
A good 10 seconds.
Yeah, I'm looking down at Yuri, so rip. Oh, man. Was that a
little
single?
Wild.
Holy was that your first one?
That was 300 crystals. Just sending it.
Man.
It's... I don't know. What were you explaining? You were explaining his build-up process?
Oh, yeah,
no?
We'll get to that eventually.
Okay, eventually.
The actual showing of it.
Well, I guess I gotta figure out what he's got going on, huh?
So, Azure Edge, Tiger Blade, Dragon Swarm, Azure skills, Azure Edge, 5-hitter, S1. Very quick. Long line of sight, completely ranged. Extremely quick. 10-hitter, dual wield. It's not that great. Being 10 hits and being, his base capping is around, even with a normal build, even with pays, it's like 35, 36k. It's not a lot of damage, even if it is really quick. He needs his boosts. His outside boost, he needs enablers. He wants to build up his stocks or build up his oil gauge enough to give him some pretty good damage boosts on those. He definitely needs a lot of cap. Skill 2 though, Tiger Blade. This is going to be his melee attack. Pops an enemy up in the air, and then can smash him to the ground. This is 10 hits, 20 dual wield. It's okay DPS. It's not bad at all. Not bad at all. Dragon Swarm instantly closes the gap for a wide area Earth combo attack. This is his gap closer. It is quite a nice hitter. 14, 28 dual wield. And it's a bit of a longer animation, but it's not bad. It's definitely manageable. Now, here's the thing. As you kind of notice, you kind of hearing in my voice, the hit counts are not the highest. We've had dual wield units even recently, which with some very nice hit counts, even units that single wielders with some very nice hit counts that can double them essentially, things like Virgil. So you expect a lot from a unit that's going to be coming in second front. I know people just don't. It's not really a true thing anymore where the second part units are better than the first part, but you expect something a power creep-esque, right? And I personally believe that they kind of not dropped the ball, but they kind of made him a little less powerful just because they were giving him that innate full ether restore, the ether burst, to replenish all of his skills. I feel like they made it very difficult to pump out a ton of damage. They made it very difficult to even reach the higher levels of his OL gauge buff in order to balance him out. Now, do I agree with that? No, I wanted him to be super powerful. He looks super cool. I like his art. I like his whole demeanor. I like him in battle. His skills are great. It's just, I feel like they cucked him just a little bit. Just a little bit. So yeah. On to his special though. This is hilarious. It's a one-hit special. Very powerful earth attack to all enemies. Damage cap plus 120,000. So I'm only Awaken 3, so I only have 120,000. Once I get to Awaken level 4, it'll be 150,000. But he has some interesting things in his kit that's going to amplify this. So traits, real quick. Let me quartet. When using a skill, fill OL gauge and give the unit OL gauge buff based on the amount of filled OL gauge, max level 4. This is basically what you need to know is that while he's spamming skills, he's getting credit to the OL gauge building. While the OL limit buff is not all that active. So while he's just normal gameplay, you're spamming your skills, he's going to be building OL gauge buff. And this lists the separate effects. Most importantly, the base levels to the highest level give varying cap raises and then give varying super armor durations, which I think are the most potent for his synergy with himself. The thing is, it's the same cost to go up per level as it was to Luke. So Luke was only one, and having a max level, having to use enough SET on his skills and sacrifice that enough to get one level, great. Which already seemed like a good bit. He needs to do that 4 times in order to even get the max damage, which is going to be, sure, 30% physical attack damage, 12,000 damage cap, damage taken minus 30%, and the buff duration is 20 seconds now instead of 10. It also gives him a full skill stock review or refill. The thing is, the amount of effort that takes into jumping or bringing that up to fruition is a lot, and we're going to show that in a second. I nuked his damage completely, and so his build is absolutely horrible at the moment, but that's going to be able to showcase just how ridiculous this getting to this level is. Do justice, arc damage cap, great. Unit is alive, everyone gets a little less damage against, and then when an ally is incapacitated, he gets nice little base stat buffs, and he does get one free skill. So random skill, of course, but one free skill. Sure. Before we get into his other stuff, I do want to just showcase that just a little bit, and just how ridiculous, it gets, and just how ridiculous it is to achieve such a part of the game, or a part of his kit as the OL gauge level 4. So what do I have on him right now? What am I going to showcase right now? So this is all I have on him. I don't even know why I have that on him, to be fair. Gonna take that off. So this is what I have on him. We're gonna just have absolutely 0 damage multipliers. He's gonna look like crap. Do not pay attention to that. We'll pay attention to the skills being used and the amount of damage, not the amount of damage, but the amount of stocks we're going to be, of the OL gauge we're going to be regenning. He has 5, 3, and 2 as his base stocks. So he is not, that is nowhere near the amount you need in order to reach OL gauge level 4. Which is what you would want for the final, stage of his buffs. It's his most optimal time, right? I have boosted my skill stocks enough with this setup where it will gain enough in one set of skill stocks, and this is why you can't do it normally in many other builds and without all the limited shit. So this is why they gave him Ether Burst to replenish these skill stocks. Here's the thing. Let's showcase this a little bit. Council of 10. I have, in order to even get this, I have 8, 6, and 4. 8, 6, and 4 on my stocks. And you need this in order to even do it in one rotation, which is the most disgusting thing in the world. So I have to be careful here and make sure I do it correctly. But 2S, yep, 1 here. There we go. 1 OL gauge level 1. So let's go here. OL gauge level 1. Bang. Number 1. Now we do the same thing over again in order to get it another stock. So it will show you that you're at OL gauge 2. Great, awesome. That was already a lot. That was already 6 skills of his most potent, of 2 of his most potent skills, S3 and S2. Already aggressive. Now we go to this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're at level 3 now. Awesome. We're still building there. We've used so many skills at this point. It's unreal. And then we spam it all the way to the end. And now we're at level 4. It took me 18 skill stocks to get there. Nice, Mike.
That's a lot.
Whew. That's a lot. It's a lot of time investment. And this is, again, I'm showcasing this as able to do with one fell swoop. That's what I'm trying to show you guys, is that's so ridiculous. So, all right, let's, now, the cool thing is that since I have this ability, sure, I get it. I'm going to level 4. I can just give him the 11 buff and give him all his still stocks back. The unfortunate part about this is that, yeah, now I'm ready to go. I built it all up. I'm ready to smash damage. But even if I use all these skills and in other content where I have him built for damage and I have him capping, the unfortunate part about these OL buff, and this happens with Luke as well, while this OL buff, this icon is up, you don't actually build anything for the next gauge. So no, even if I used all of these skills in the 20-second time frame or no, I guess the 24-second time frame that I have, this is not fun. Because it's not going to be counting towards the next one. If it counted towards the next one, we would be talking about it a little bit differently. But I could burn through all of these skills right now and have absolutely zero progress towards the next gauge. Which is the worst feels bad part. So here's the thing. I get that it was probably a bit OP to do so and build up the next one while you were in the mid, especially for Luke, who in 10 seconds, he very easily can get the next one up and basically would be permanent super armor for him. I get that. But for Yuri, who won super, yes, you could do that as well if you want to do one level, but you could build up during 20 seconds, especially if they just made it like maybe during the only level 4, you could count it toward. I would personally go for that more often. I mean, I don't know how they would want. Of course, they balanced it the way they felt was correct. And but the way they envisioned in their mind, it just feels very lackluster to me for synergy with himself and repeating damage and repeating super armor and repeating the ether burst. Like, it just feels a little out of place. That's all. Oh. So as you can see, that should have gave me a level 1. OL gauge buff. I've hit him with like 26 skills, so yeah, they're gonna break. This was the max. Here's the funny thing, is that I ran out of the buff. I hit them all with a bunch of skills still, and I didn't even get the OL gauge level 1 back. Didn't even get it back yet. Didn't have the time to do so. It's crazy. I don't know. If you just want to use him like you do Luke, which I think is a very fair assessment, and not go past level 1 or 2, just use those whenever you have it, I think that's reasonable, because Luke with the OL gauge level 1 is still a very strong mechanic. It just, the reason that I'm a little bit sad about it is because not only does it take so much effort to get to, but you essentially have to restart the entire thing whenever you get to that very final phase, which just feels bad. Using a unit at non-max potential for 95% of content is not going to be that fun to me. And this is kind of like maybe nitpicking, right? But this is one of his main mechanics of what makes him unique. And this reminds me of how we talked about Lagrange. Do you remember when we talked about Lagrange, Booda? And about how, his like damage buff, damage cap buff, and like break buff, as he takes damage, you can get to. It just takes forever to get to, like, naturally.
I do.
This is like, again, using a unit at non-max potential or almost all content. To me, I don't love that. I don't love that feeling that I'm missing out on something by not min-maxing. And there's no way to really, especially with Lagrange, you can kind of make it happen, right? You can force damage on yourself. You can force HP loss. Great. Him, you literally can't force anything. You have to use skills. You cannot speed it up. There's no circumvention around getting around that. So I'm not a big fan of that. Now, if you just completely ignore the OL gauge buff stuff, having a honey elixir type skill in ether burst, or not honey elixir, but full ether restore, the non-time stop, full like a 999 heal, 9,999 heal, as well as maxing out your unit SSD. Sure, that's cracked. It's something we've seen on all the Alice's. That's I'm blanking on who else it was on, but on the Alice's for sure. Really, really cool, and it's only self-castable, so you can't actually bring this on in your battle and pump SCT into other units. I wish you could, but you cannot. But having this alone with dual wield innate, being able to use Trishula, being able to like have some reasonable caps is still very, very good. And I hate that the OL gauge stuff brings me down enough to make me sad. Let me just put his normal stuff on real quick so we can go over what he has. Because he has a pretty damn strong kit. When I was building him this morning, coming out of maintenance, and snagging him, and then looking at his kit and being like, "What do I need to add?" I'm like, "What? Wait, he has like so much stuff. Fighting Spirit 5, Heroism 2, Critical up 2, Aim Vitals, Proud Force, Illusion. Sure, those are all very, very. I mean, those are consistent things that happen on builds. Human Buster is pretty cool. Having that innate, of course, then people immediately think Arena Killer for human stuff. Yeah, sure. I don't disagree. Special Boost, another boost to the Human Buster. Then you have Auto Brave, Auto Speed, Auto Haste, which are all good. Gale Force, Earth High Drive, Earth Attack Raise 2, Earth Attack Raise 3. Of course, you notice that Earth Mega Drive is on his kit because they want to sell you the Ark. Bing, bing, boom. Gotcha. Blessed Speed, Triple Impact, Dual Wield Innate, Sword High Boost, Sword Mega Boost, sure. Ultimate Boost, Quick Trigger, Decoy, Giant Killing 2. Most people should know what a lot of this stuff does, so I'm not exactly going over it all, but no, it's very good stuff in his kit. Sleeping Line is cool. We've only ever seen that on Chief Lanceville. And then we're looking at his unique stuff. Burst Artist. This is where we're talking about his special of prefacing. I know maybe you guys saw my video and other content creators' videos. OL buff active, special damage plus 100%, damage cap plus 1000%. This is not a typo. This is what works. But I think it's when people see it's plus 1000%, it makes them think, "Oh my god, that's broken." No. This is something completely different. What is it? It's an exact actual effect. What happens? So here's the thing with Burst Artist, with his special, it has about that additive 150,000 boost. So you're looking at 160 plus thousand. Maybe people have jumped that up to a little over 180, 190,000 on his damage cap. But he needs, in order to even take advantage of a strong ult, because it's a one hitter, he needs to be in an OL buff. So you already have to have used some skills and build it up even to level 1. You can't do this off of time stop 0. Then once you get the OL buff up, this will give you basically double special damage. Additive, yes, it's additive, so it's not going to be exactly double. But the damage cap plus 1000% is essentially another 10 times on top of the special damage that's already happened. So it's an 11x multiplier. So it turns that 160,000 cap plus to now 1.76 million plus. Which I know you guys have probably seen people in the community already posting about hitting a 2 million cap ult on one hit. Cool, that's awesome. The thing is, being an AoE ult, being 2 million, about 2 million damage if you want to max them out, it's really not that crazy, in my opinion. We do have other units in the game that hit for way more AoE. It's still definitely useful, and it's a very cool animation, very fun to use. It's just this is not broken at all by any means. It's just making his special reasonable, and the fact that it's conditional. You need to have the OL buff up to even use it. It's not like you're like, with a lot of units we've done in the past, you can just time stop 0, give them a Great War Ruin level 10, bang, they're ready to go. He can't do that. He has to actually use skills and build that up. So it's just more of a funny thing at this point. Effective damage, maybe not so much, but definitely funny. Fatal Strike, which I actually like. It's essentially just a chance to insta-kill outside of arena and bosses, and against arena and bosses he gets physical damage plus 20% and piercing, a little bit of piercing. Assassin, increased damage and damage cap against human enemies, just further forcing his 8 for human enemies. And then overextension. This is kind of cool because it does boost the OL buff duration 20%. So it makes his 10-20 second buffs into 12 and 24 seconds, and then if the OL buff is active, he does gain another 2,000 physical damage cap. So I think I talked about the main stuff of why you'd be using him. I think a dual-wielding Earth DPS who is not locked. I mean, yes, you'd be using a sword on him. I'm using some crappy stuff right now because there's no point. I was testing his SCT regen and all that stuff. He's very easy to build. He's a very complete kit. What you do, the main thing that you're going to be adding onto him, because he has this Ether Burst and because you're going to be wanting to run MP stuff, or getting a ton of MP back and back and back, you're going to be wanting to run Goddess Kiss, which I talked about in my video, and we've talked about for many units who want MP back. For physical DPS, this is great. Regular attacks have a chance to absorb 2% of damage dealt as MP. Now, this skill gives a 10% chance on every regular attack hit to regen MP based on the damage you're doing with regulars. So your physical attack damage, your regular attack damage that you're doing, not skills, not anything like that, does not regen, only regular attacks. You want to be building up your physical attack power as much as you possibly can. That means giving him the correct weapons. So right here, I'm not using the correct weapons at all. Because he uses earth attributes so much, his paid, as you can tell, earth and sword, we have literally no free-to-play options at this point, right? Now, I say no free-to-play options. The reason being, Levi's Duster is a collab item from the Attack on Titan collab last February. You don't have an option to get this right now if you're in the game. The only other option for him to use is his paid weapon, which is not a coincidence. They do this shit to sell this kind of thing, which definitely feels bad for much of the community. Much of the community does love to use free-to-play. They want to use a unit at their, near full potential. But you don't have, like, any option. Except if you were here this past year in January for Levi's Duster to use. Which is feels bad. And that's, if you were a paying player, and you're asking between the two, this is an automatic winner for second star. You'd have to get this in order to even use him even close to the full potential, especially if you weren't here during the Attack on Titan collab. So, does it feel bad? Yes, it does. Absolutely does. I recognize that as a paying player. I even recognize that it is hard out in these streets for Earth Sword users, which is so stupid. I don't know why we can't just get literally just one, even if it was a shitty Earth Sword from story or something. But we don't have any. So if you are forced to go outside of swords, which is so stupid, there are some okay weapons. I know we have. Where was it? All right. I know we have some earth weapons. Let me see this real quick. Do I have not? Okay, I didn't actually give him. Let me give him the equips. Let me give him the equips that I had. I know I gave him these two. There's a few earth weapons that are actually pretty good on him. This one, the Soul Butterfly Overall, which you can get from story, which you can farm from God Forge, is solid. Earth attack damage to 15%, chance for regular attacks to give draining nemesis effects, sure. The second part, not so much. The earth attack damage and its stats are pretty good, and that's something that's farmable. Star Road Heavenly Bow is again something that I think a lot of people have used on Luke as well. Just having a bow that gives this is one of my favored uses. Now, there's of course other hammers. I think there's other machines. There's definitely, don't let me blank on that, but definitely other hammers that I would use on him. But the lack of swords is just so obvious, and it's so sad. Let's go to his paid item, or his paid accessory. Body Blastia. Great. So, talking about his paids, unfortunately, his weapon gives physical attack damage cap for earth. It gives cap damage. It also gives more cap versus anti-damage. So if you're building him correctly to the battle that you're fighting, you're going to get more cap and more cap. Bodhi Blastia being an accessory, strength defense plus 10%, while buff active, earth attack damage plus 20%, damage cap plus 3000. This is at any gauge level, so even if at level 1, if you wanted to pump that in there to use a special, grab a little super armor, and then he'll activate that extra cap, extra damage. So using these in situations where he's getting anti-type damage, where you're using the OL buff, yeah, it's going to be very, very effective. I still think the first choice by far is the sword. If you had to choose one or the other, it's hard to ignore the fact that he has a earth sword. So, not bad. Wait, confirm. Cancel. Whatever. Going ahead. Continue. Sometimes these, when we take a break from the game and you forget how the UI works.
Were you gonna give a shout out to Vesperia?
Vesperia? Yeah, the sword, or the spear, sorry. Give me 1 second. Since I did give it a half-ass thing, why don't I just go actually make it happen? This is what I do to check what kind of weapons there are, because Master Thief Robin has an imaginary weapon. Not an imaginary weapon, but he can equip everything. And so I just kind of go in here, I kind of go, boop, earth, what do we have? So, guys, God Hammer, God Forge for a hammer. We have a spear, Hallowed Spar Vesperia, and obviously Refia is the non-God Forge version. That's a very strong spear. We have some story stuff, like I know this was from... No, this is an AER. AER Breaking the Vandus. there's a lot of earth weapons out there, and by a lot I mean not that many, and definitely some you can pick from, but definitely not that many. This is a very small list for attribute weapons, especially having essentially 0 from swords for in general content, which is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Yeah, definitely some usable stuff in here. I would pick normally from 1, 2, 3, and 4, probably 5. 5 of them are probably definitely usable for Goddess Kiss procs. But all right, getting back to the fact of why you would want Earth weapons is because his Goddess Kiss procs off of the damage from the weapons itself, and being an Earth weapon is going to give him an advantage in a lot of situations to, you know, and use all of his boost for physical attacks for Earth damage itself. So you definitely would want to be running him on 2 Earth weapons if you're going to be using him to regen MP at all. You could always be using neutral weapons like Pure Blade or Rasa and stuff. Sure, it's just or getting all those Earth boosts is really, really convenient. Yeah. I mean, you kind of saw his skills. I guess we could go see his special. I don't have any damage built into him, but it's kind of cool. Kind of cool. I would build him for 2 million damage right now, but that would force me to nuke his build. If you were here during the stream that I did earlier today, right after reset, we messed around with Pablo quite a bit, which is obviously the standard nuking ground for fire and earth DPS, and it was very funny. I absolutely shredded that battle, even with nothing outside of his own kit, nothing really limited, just using a permanent arc and all that good stuff. It was pretty fun. But we're not going to have the OL buff here. I'm just going to show this straight up for, you know what, let's get the OL buff. What am I talking about? With having nothing invested in him, I want to see how easily, see what kind of damage we do. Now keep in mind, I'm only Awakened 3, so this is only 120,000. We're only going to be hitting about, his max cap right now would be about, I don't know, 140,000. Along with, no, 140, maybe 150,000, along with, you know, that 11x, so maybe 1.65 million. Here's the thing. He's not going to be hit anywhere near that. I hope, if he hits near that, I'm going to be very surprised. But I expect this to fully hit around maybe 30k damage. Because I guess I did add all the stuff back on him, but nothing extra. Okay. Animation is real sweet, though. I love that he just brings a massive sword down. It reminds me of Loug Zeus' S3. Just... Did we just cap?
If cap is like 148k.
I'm pretty sure that was 1.48 million.
Did it only hit the soldiers? Thought it hit everybody.
Look at their health.
So it just didn't.
Galbor did not get hit by my other physical attacks. So that's a chunk. Alright. So, we're gonna do it again. Watch his health this time. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he capped. I saw 999, so I'm pretty sure he capped. So it didn't do shit on him.
It did 150 on someone.
You know why?
Pretty sure it was 100k.
I didn't actually.
You never hit over limit.
Woo! See, I'm a very noob moment.
Wow.
Alert!
Tweakers.
That's embarrassing. No one look. No one look. Don't worry about it, guys. Don't worry about it. Got ahead of myself. Don't worry about it. We're gonna do this again. We are level 1. We are gonna be using this. Listen, we're good now. The 1.88. Yeah. We still capped.
That was the 1 mil.
I mean, I just find that really funny that I haven't added anything really that extra into him. Now, that's actually not true. We have Human Buster. Human Buster's activating on this.
For sure.
I mean, there's a lot of damage boost that he has innate in his kit to cap something like that. But that's really funny. I did not expect it to cap, to be honest. That's dope. Here's the thing with people who are like, oh my gosh, 160k caps, 200k caps. Then you're looking at, multiplying that by 100,000%, times 11. That seems like it's hard to reach. Well, Adis has made it a very strong effort into making the damage multipliers that we cannot see on low hit things very high. Right? We've seen that with Aaron, with melee. On the higher cap stuff, they're going to be very high. So the fact that I know I'm capping already makes me want to actually cap as hard as I can with this. Is that okay? Can we do that?
Please, yeah. I was actually curious about this when you were doing your unit breakdown video initial release for the info, which was very well done, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
I hope you continue to make those because the whole thing was just crisp, clean,
crispy
animations, written out text, all formatted.
Baby.
I was
everybody
very
like
happy.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's my deal. I'm probably not giving him the most optimal situation at this point, but I'm going to try to. I'm going to see just how high. Now, I'm missing 30k on his Awakens, so this is going to be an issue, but really not that bad. So just add like 330k to whatever I add.
That's a chunk. Did you not do the event?
I did the event, but I haven't gotten his souls yet. All of his souls.
I don't know where I got souls to get him straight to 4, but
well, you probably actually played the event.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know where I got them. Maybe in the mission rewards?
Am I like losing it? I think I am actually. I know Crimson Scarlet Ring. Oh, I'm so drunk. All right. Not actually, boys. That's a fake. Let's just jump in here and give him some stuff. Okay, let's do this. All right, so whatever number we had here, add 330k. I didn't do it. Damn.
What did you miss? The OL?
Actually doing the OL buff. See, I'm too used to units being straight up enabled right away. Too used to it. Too used to it. He makes me actually do things before.
Yeah,
Unlucky.
it doesn't push it that high.
Well, that would be over 204k straight up if I had a max.
Oh, right. You had to add.
Okay. So, and then times 11, which is like 2.2 million.
Okay.
Which is aggressive.
You said is?
It is aggressive, yes.
Oh, aggressive. I heard you say impressive, and I was.
I mean, it's not bad.
It's not bad, especially with how easy you can get it.
Right.
All right. Take 2.
Hello, hello, hello. Okay, I need to use some skills. Instead of doing that, I'm going to do this. Oh, he's going to do way too much damage. No. Hold on, I got to find a target. There we go. I got to not kill everybody. Don't kill everybody. Give me an wall buff. Yes, let's go. All right. It took way too much effort not to kill everybody. Let's see it. So add 330. That's a 2.26. Chop. It's like a chunk. Just
that is
bang.
that right there.
It's satisfying.
Is
chunk.
A bonk. If I've ever seen
bonk. Yeah, I know how to average. He's saying go get 30 from the Coin Exchange box. Yeah, I'm just not built up there. I've been taking a very casual approach to this collab. But yeah, that's fun. That's super fun. If you guys want to use a bonk, I mean, the multipliers are definitely extremely high, especially against humans because we have Human Buster special boost, which is another 100% damage boost. But yeah, very complete kit. I mean, if you're going to be using him, definitely run Goddess Kiss on him. Definitely run Earth Weapons if you can. His just OL gauge buff stuff just feels so bad to me, honestly. Yeah, solid unit. He will get a high. Here's the thing. He is going to get a pretty high score on the tier list just because, and I'm not going to say he's above both of them, right? All three units in this collab, I think, are very comparable in their power and their score. So keeping that in mind when he's not going to get a 9.596. Like he's not there, no chance. But he is a solid unit. And definitely one that's if you love Yuri and you love that they put him into the game with Tales of Collab, congratulations, he's actually pretty solid. It's just the fact that I'm, as an endgame player, disappointed that his max potential is so out of reach for so much content, and for honestly so many people. I can't imagine having no skill stocks and getting him immediately and trying to get that OL gauge 4. You'd have to run through 2 friggin' Ether bursts in order to even get there. You know how long that takes? You don't use all your skills. Use Ether burst or use Ether burst. Use all your skills. Goddess Kiss up. Some more MP. Use another Ether burst. Use a bunch of your skills and finally be at 4. Like, and then you can't. I don't know. He's been frustrating to me today, as you can possibly tell. They definitely could have done a lot to him to mainstream his effectiveness in this. If they had made it so his cap was like plus 50k on OL buff 4, yeah, I'd probably be happier with it. But it is 12k. It's just unlucky.
Yeah, anyone who still says Part 2 unit collab is better than Part 1, I need you to just uninstall the game. Because we still have people in the community that say that. And I feel like we've had way too many instances that just don't support that claim anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't. And he could have been, absolutely. He in certain parts, he absolutely could have been better, and he is better in some aspects. Like his SCT region is better than both of them, 100%. It's just locked to him. And Stahn and Luke are just very good units. Like Stahn is super straightforward and just a badass bruiser, honestly. Does some massive damage. Luke is really solid, has some unique things that give him some RNG-like massively boosted effects, and then Yuri's a great dual-wielding unit. Has a very complete kit, has himself full SCT restore. It's just that his OL gauge stuff is annoying as shit to me. So who knows? Is it time for the Ark Booda?
Yeah, talk about it. Let's do it.
Brave Vesperia. Some high strength, cool, 361. Damage dealt to all human type enemies, another extra boost to him. I mean, this is literally feels like it's made for Yuri. Cut its magic attack damage based on number of living allies with non-human type. So at 4 units in the party with a non-human typing, aka any mimicry that's going to give you non-human, you're going to get minus 20% for magical damage. And then when taking lethal damage from a special, survive with 1 HP until that attack ends, which I actually think is pretty cool, because just having a PvE, free survive card in your pocket, especially against bosses who nuke, and in tower and in maze and stuff, it's really not that bad. Really not that bad. I actually think that's definitely usable in spots where you're going to be getting absolutely crapped on by a boss. So I don't know. Could be useful. Might not be to you, but definitely something niche that's interesting. Spear mimicry, sure. To adding this on to even give them immediately the possibility of getting that boost from the mitigating the magic damage from the passive. Special shield, spear geyser. Okay, spear geyser. They love putting geysers on LR Arks for whatever reason. just to make them feel even more limited than they already are. So I wish they would just put them on SSR arcs and leave it as is, but whatever. We make the future. This is essentially the other skill from the Chronos arc on this one as for special damage and special cap. So I don't know what to say. After 40 seconds or more, if you're having long enough battle for that, you can get damage plus 20%, damage cap plus 2,000 to your special. Dual wield. Booda. We got dual wield. Now, dual wield's really cool that it's on a second arc other than Sandworm. The fact remains as though this is an LR. So outside of this collab, outside of the 3 weeks that we're chilling in this year, you can't get this arc. So like, who cares? Most 99% of people in the game are gonna want Sandworm anyways. So dual being an arc is a nice little quality of life for people just beginning the game. You can reroll for this, and you don't need to grab Sandworm. You can just grab like March of Saints for him, especially for Yuri, and then maybe reroll for this arc and Yuri, or whatever you want to do. You're not forced to grab a non-rate up SSR and miss out on both March of Saints and Sandworm. So I like the fact that they added this to it. It's just being hyped that it's on this arc is not the same as it being useful for everybody, right? Earth Mega Drive though, I'm a big fan of, because at end game and min-maxing stuff, especially for dual wielding units like Yuri, like Logia, like Levi, they're gonna want more cap. Earth Mega Drive is just that. Yes, it's 15 SC, but it's one of the only ways in the game to get, yes, it's more boosted damage to physical and special damage, but it also gives them a little bit more cap. So it makes them a little bit more effective in their usefulness. Arc of the Reward. I really don't care for this. I know people explaining this to me as to why it's lore related, and it's kind of cool, but unless you're using a unit that's going to need that fire, ice, or thunder damage and the special damage, if you're not utilizing the entire passive, it's a little bit lackluster. I mean, the stats are okay. Strength plus 180, intelligence plus 180, defense and mind, sure. Some strong stats, and then the passive is good if you're utilizing the entire thing. But otherwise, if you're only using parts of it, there's more than likely another item or another weapon out there that you can substitute this with. Now, if you don't have a lot of stuff in the game, if you're relatively new, this is a very good weapon. And being, a 360 stat sword with being non-attribute, I just find it funny that it's non-attribute and then you're like expected to use this on attribute attackers. I don't know. Who knows? A little weird, but an AER nonetheless, and one to add to the pile if you actually get this arc. Yeah, not bad. The learnables are definitely the best part about this. Earth Mega Drive is the most notable, along with Spirit Geyser, in my opinion. Dual wield is cool that it's on there, but again, not really that relevant unless you're just re-rolling and you're beginning the game now. And Yuri himself and Luke himself don't even need it. So, like, even if you had to skip that arc and you don't need dual wield, like, they have it already in 8. That's the thing with Sandworm. When units don't have it and want it, dual wield is OP. When units already have it, it's like, okay, well, I guess I don't need this. I don't know. He's cool. He's a very cool unit. He's definitely very usable. I'm just salty because I can't use him in his full potential in 99% of content. But yeah.
I mean, we had a very similar... I feel like the initial response to Joker was very similar. And then when we found those fights where we could use those...
Yes.
Here's
my thing. Mm-hmm. Joker, you could utilize. There were things in the game already set where you could utilize, and you could envision that, like, his high tier potential happening. Because his OL gauge stuff buff is literally forced. You can't speed it up. You're forced to use that many skill stocks to get it there. It's rough, and you can't charge it while you're... I don't know. You know what? That's enough about Yuri.
I agree. I'm not a fan of balance to the degree that takes away from fun. Like, I can see why they made those adjustments that they did. However, I still don't think there could have been a little less severity in that gauge building that would have still kept the game balanced, but made him just more fun to use, because that's where his true fun is in that OL buff.
Huh.
And
Yep.
and I think we've gone over time and time again that saving time, doing things quickly and more often, is generally the more fun way to play. So anything that makes you wait long periods of time inherently make it less fun.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, I know in your opinion, because that's what you look for, is fast everything.
Speedy boy.
Speedy boy. So, anyway.
Which I can be now, Booda. Woohoo.
You can be now. Do you want to
I mean,
transition?
I think we're done relatively.
I know.
Let's go to the club event real quick. All right, so club event, real
Okay.
quick. We have so far right now. We have the event coming on. We also have the event training field, which is kind of cool. It's essentially just a normal training field with a different banner. That's all. Make sure you're doing these every day, which I have not been because I'm slacking today. But yeah, the Nightmare stage is obviously giving you a big boost to XP. Hang out with your Granados friends, grab some extra XP, level up a bunch of units. The training field is a really good time for a lot of developing players and developing accounts. But outside of that, the Otherworldly Swordsman event, which I apparently have not logged on to this account yet, but your goal here is to get ether coins, to max out the shops, to get all the stuff. The reason being, you were doing the bonus challenge. You don't even need to steal there. You get a bunch of coins from that. Do all these. I believe these do give souls for for Stahn and Luke. And you'll be able to do these over and over again. Use your orbs there. Bonus challenge. But you're really looking forward to get these coins, right? Why? Why would you do that? Well, it's very easy to level up these units nowadays, because on the 5th step of each part, you get souls, right? This costs 30 prizes on here. These are guaranteed. These 30 souls are guaranteed within 30. All these steps cost like this 49 here, 99, 119, 129. This is a great deal for repeating this. And if anyone's in chat can tell me what the part 2 one has, I know part 1 has the Stahn and Luke souls, 30 each. You can very easily get 300 ether coins in order to dump into there. As for actually, you know what? I can literally look at it. What am I doing? Cool weapon. We got a little armor. Actually, it looks kind of like Vayne stuff, honestly. But funny enough. Champion belt. Cool. Autocast Grand Brave. I actually like that a lot. Yuri Prism. And then the step 5 does give 2 stocks of the different Yuri souls. So every 30 rolls in this will give you 30 Yuri souls. So you'll be able to do this pretty quick, and you'll be able to build up your units very fast. Your higher awakens, your higher SC cost. If you just continue doing the event, it's going to work out really, really well. So get the Alchemites, level up the event items. And I know we had the same thing with DMC, where your event equipment, and your paid equipment can get it enhanced to a little higher effect as what they normally could do. Like if you have, because I can't see that right now, their max effects. I think their max effects are listed, but you can level up all of these in order to get the little bit of bonus stats while you're in the collab. So definitely be getting these Alchemites from the event and from the bonus reroll stages, not the reroll stages, but the infinite roll stages on the ether coin bonuses. So definitely a very similar event to things we've had before. But yeah, I like these kinds of events because it just gives an easy way to grind up your units, right? That's what we look for in collabs. We want ways to build these units, especially for people just joining the game. We want ways for people to just build their units fast and get into the game and enjoy it. And not having a way to build up souls just feels bad. So this is great. Mission rewards, though. This is where most of the rewards come from. I know there's a couple radiances in here. I think a radiance for each of the units. I actually found it really funny when I found this out. The orange gels are actually like your art. They made like a new temporary orb filler, or the orb recover. And I love that this is the first time that I've seen. I remember them doing this. They might have done it before, but instead of using your orb recovers, this is I can't even press it because I'm on 15. They use the orange gels, which is dope. But mission rewards, there's prisms for each unit, especially from after first part. And then we get Yuri souls, we got more orange jellies, we got more prism for him, we got a radiance. And then at 100,000, that's where like the real rewards stop, kind of, quote unquote real rewards. After that, it's just like, if you want to press the event even harder, we'll give you 550 mother souls for every 5,000 event points you go over. Up to 300,000. I mean, I guess it switches to 10 every 10,000 at some point, but up to 300,000 event points, you'll keep getting mother souls at every certain increment. So very cool, very cool, very cool. But yeah, I don't mind the event. I love the events and how they grind up towards. I know a lot of people do complain, rightfully complain to be honest, about the storytelling linking collabs to the game. I have nothing about that. But you know, they obviously told us they're not going to be doing, you know, fully in-depth story like linking between the collab and the game itself, like they had to with the passed down collabs. Those were really cool. I don't know. I wish they would put more effort into that, but you know, can't expect everything. So things to look forward to in the third week. Right? We have.
What do we have?
There's always, I don't know if there's a third part of the event itself, like of the quests themselves, but because we'll find that out soon. I don't remember reading about it. But then we also have the time trials, which is cool, which we expect nowadays with collabs. You know, that there's almost always two banner weeks, 2 new banner weeks, and then the third week is the time trials.
Yeah.
So
time trials.
I'm very excited about that because
what?
I know it's crazy. I used to love time trials, but also hate it because it couldn't rank. But guess what?
What?
Guess what?
What? Tweaks.
I can rank now. Let's go.
Hashtag free.
I want to say hashtag free tweaks worked. I want to say it so bad.
Has become hashtag.
Yes.
Hold on.
Yes.
Hold on.
Let's go.
The hashtag has evolved. If I can get out of the menus.
It has been quite literally
2 tweaks
3
is
years
free, along with the entire shadow band gang, from what I have seen.
Yeah. So I mean, many of the people who have been waiting. I know other community members like myself, Vagu, Lax, Chris, and I'm assuming probably multiple people in this chat right now. We all got left free.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. I am excited for that. I really hope there wasn't any mistakes. You know? Like, do you remember, there's always, it gives me, you know when we saw Scorpio and, you know, other unit players who had already been banned in the last time trial?
Sure.
I really hope it's not one of those situations. Can you imagine, hear this from me, can you imagine seeing that shit? All right, so first of all, just getting in chronological order here. Scorpio gets banned, completely banned from all ranking activities. For some reason, he comes back during this last time trial, gets banned again. Can you imagine if we see him in this time trial again?
I think we will.
Jesus.
I think we will. It's
Oh my god, bro.
Has Barleen talked about their anti-cheat structure?
He hasn't talked about anything. From what I have, like, maybe not paid enough attention, but I haven't seen anything about a comment on what happened. Why we're unbanned. What happened? What was the process? Because there's been no notification in game about it. So I'm just super confused.
I mean, I don't know. The timing's very, very interesting to me.
Very interesting, right? So it was confirmed that we were unbanned. That's the only thing that I do know is that we were correctly unbanned. So I will say that mine was not a mistake. That Goose was not a mistake. Lax, yours was also not a mistake. I did check in and ask. Now, here's the thing. And with that said, there might have been some mistakes.
What?
So I preface that as we'll see.
What are
we need to hear? We need to hear from them. We need to hear from them about what happened. What was the why is the unbanning process happening so quick?
As much as
dumped in, because it was gradual before.
And as much as it's wonderful news, because I think it's been myself and many of the Booda Gang's mission to get you and the other wrongly shadow banned members free. It's just a continual letdown to see them handle this matter of anti-cheat every time that it gets brought up.
I mean, we still see like you're getting it. We fully expect the next time trial to be completely dominated by literal cheaters for the most part. And exactly. I know I post that time every time about, not every time, but the last few time trials I've just given like a little screenshots about, here's top 30 and let's list how many people are actually cheating, because as an endgame player, as someone who's been around the community and is, basically knows all of the veteran players, or at least 99% of them, and people who should be able to have accounts that rank that high, it's very easy to tell who is not legit. So, or at least it's at least easy to generally,
I mean, out of all of the speculated cheaters, which is close to 60 at this point, because, I mean, there were maybe, 2, 3 that were legit?
Yeah, so there were a couple that obviously I labeled as not, but they were. I think just throwing it out there. Holdvar was one of them, and then Logan I labeled for the first one. Regardless, but this last time trial that we listened, every single one.
Every single one, even the ones that tried to fight back. Fight
back on your video. Yeah, that was a very interesting exchange.
That was a fun
for people who don't know. I mean, if you'll have to ask him Booda's Discord to ask him about it. But that was pretty funny. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Even as an example of what's going on right now, so Maze, right? I was able to rank, so I got to go back and do Maze, which is awesome. Love that.
Number 1, baby.
So awesome, great, awesome. People are doing work. Here's the thing: if I go back, and please don't, if I go back and see that this shit's still happening.
Yeah, you can show.
Like, you believe these guys?
Look at Ryan. He got a 1 minute 15 second clear with White Melza. That's God tier. He's a God tier player. And he's only ranked 33, bro. We need to get him on the podcast.
Yeah, dude, for sure. Look at this crap.
OG Lancevale?
Ilga, Jawline, those are legit teams. Carax is probably a legit team. Sorty. Adel Mordo on a stage that is literally about 90%, maybe not 90%, but like 75% dodging to every physical attack, scored a 150 with just Adel Mordo. GWS with Lanceville and Daria.
I need to get their build. I need some help from these guys, bro.
But this is the thing. Like, it's so obvious. You can go through every single one of these battles. Like, pick a number 1 through 30.
28.
All right, that might be too much because people haven't gotten there. The cheaters actually haven't even gotten there.
Oh, that's true. Okay, 17.
Pick another number.
17.
17? All right, let me go to 17. Maybe they haven't gone there yet either.
Okay.
We're gonna do number
14. 14's a wall.
14's a wall. 8 seconds,
bro. 8 seconds, but I look at 46 seconds with PT Robin, bro.
And these people just sit here in rankings.
I need to go back and look at these units.
I don't understand how they don't just like have a constant update of, like, where, how, what. GWS 2 minutes and 6 seconds with just V. Actually, every other time down here below me, besides TPS, is legit. So, dude, it's just so stupid, dude. This is a ridiculous battle.
Oh yeah, that's the one I'm stuck on right now.
What? Come on, man. It's so disheartening to see that shit. I mean, yeah, I'm happy I can rank, and I'm happy a lot of other people who are unfairly shadow banned can rank. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. So, yeah, very excited that I can rank. I definitely am very happy that I can participate in the next time trial. I'll be sending in requests to ADIS for giving me the UR dust. Just kidding. I'm not actually gonna do that. But
They honestly
I hope
should.
to actually be able to get rewards now is freaking great. Like,
Now and forgive me for calling this into existence.
yeah,
We have seen that just because there are changes to your account status in one area of ranking doesn't always translate.
so you mean like ranking in maze versus ranking in time trials?
Yes. So
Okay, well, yes,
I
that's
am
something we have
worried
yet to
about
see,
that.
but I'm not worried about it.
You're not worried about it. Well, that's
Nope.
good.
Nope.
You think that there
Not at
was
all.
a button push that released everyone from the ban?
Booda, why do you think that might be? Do you think just
Why do I think that might be?
I mean, Booda, listen. Is it so far-fetched to think that when, I'm unhappy with the game and I'm streaming another game 5 days a week,
Mm-hmm.
and you're potentially leaving almost completely, but not quite out there yet?
I'm hanging on
You just,
by a
let's
thread.
unban him. Let's unban him.
What
is that crap?
The timing is
It's too.
definitely quite a coincidence. Quite
It's,
a coincidence.
Awfully interesting. So it may be just coincidence.
It
Sure.
could be.
Um,
Could be.
it's just when things line up like that, it's just like
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Awfully sus. Awfully sus. But I'm happy about it. Whatever it takes, I guess. I
Yeah.
mean, if I
I mean-
would have known that years ago, I would have
Right. Right. And
But
again, we talked about it a little bit when the unbanning was recognized. I'm very happy for you because I know how much time and dedication you put into this game.
Yeah.
And how much you
Me too.
actually enjoy the ranking system.
yeah,
But I also said for me, like, it's incredible. I give them props that they finally did this after all
Finally,
this
yeah,
time and
it's been ridiculous.
thought it was never going to happen.
Oh yeah, well, a week ago, I never even right before the banning, the day before. I remember the unbanning. I remember the day before. I'm sitting like, dude, I'm just like done.
Yeah.
This is so frustrating. This is, as much as I hate to admit it, that is the main. You know how much I love the game. You know how much I
Mhm.
love much time and attention I love to give it. It had literally just been running its course and had just the final nail in the coffin was finding another game that I enjoyed.
I know. I was like,
That's the thing. Like,
shoot.
I was like, oh my god, finally I found something that I'm really, really enjoying that I could see myself playing for a while, and then bang, I'm just like, god damn
I
it.
know. They roped you.
Ugh, it's like an ex
Which-
coming back, bro.
And
You got me good.
And I fully support you taking over a time period of just dominating the rankings. Totally support it. Very happy for you.
I hope so. I mean, here's the thing: with future rankings coming out, we have some great players in GL. Gilga and the Throne have been at
Absolutely.
each other's throats for forever. I mean, it's come a long way since last year. Like, I remember the last year, 2.5 year anniversary. I think that was the last time trial where it was not even close. Like, no offense to anybody else. I know those players have grown quite a bit, and I know other players have grown quite a bit since then. But the score that I had, even with competing with JP, it used to be like JP, at least for a little bit there. It used to be JP and me. I used to compete with them, but now we have other players that are also
Yeah.
very fluent in the game and notice things and are very able to get incredible times.
Mhm.
So yeah, dominating rankings. I don't know if I'm. That's the thing. I don't know if I'm gonna get first in everything. Like, no chance that it ever happens. Cannot guarantee that. But to even be in the rankings and to get top 10s and to even get rewards for that shit, I am so down for.
Yeah.
So happy I'm able to.
Yeah. I mean, the
So-
motivation's going to be there for you. No doubt. So that's
For sure.
awesome.
For sure.
For your boy Booda, though,
Yeah, my dude.
there's nothing here for me.
Besides your community, that's about it. There's I mean, that's the thing. We're
Yeah. And I'm obviously not talking about the Booda gang. Booda gang, I will never abandon. We've got the Discord. I know y'all got my back. I meant strictly like in the game, right? Like, yes, the unbanning is absolutely monstrous. It's massive for everyone who was shadow banned. I was never in that category. So,
But you mean you can rank this whole time?
I don't even like rank. Yeah, bro. Don't you
No,
remember? I would pass you my account from time to time. You'd get in the top 10 occasionally. Did that a couple times.
I'm dead. I hate you so much. Why you have to say that type of thing? People will think that's serious.
I know, that's the point. So, time trials are not my thing. I was never shadow banned. There's nothing in the game that changed, even remotely close to the entire video I made about what I hope
nothing changed for you
was constructive criticism. Other than, I think someone rigged my account so I got all 3 units with hardly anything spent.
What the heck is that?
Yes.
I will say, I'm just going to end up just pointing this out there. I did get him step 1, orb 1 on lap 1.
Love
so
that.
I was pretty excited. But anyways.
Very nice.
Yes. Dude.
So I'm still in a weird, funky
Booda. Wait. They added visuals for bosses in HP locks.
They did?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
We can go test that. I'm fine. I maxed out my SC.
We don't need to do any battles. Here's the thing. Here, what do we have up?
We can do. Do we have Falmega? We do.
I hate Falmega
listen.
so much.
I hate her too, but I am interested in Stahn's with the breaking and long range, so I'm down to do that battle.
Oh god.
You're the one that recommended it.
I did recommend it. I 100% did. All right, let's go to multiplayer. I'm gonna throw him in here then.
All right.
Let's go Stahn. I'm gonna bring 2 units, and I'm going to bring Imnemtheria.
Okay.
Okay.
Hold on. You're bringing 2, so are we just doing 2 first?
Yeah, we're doing 2 first.
All right.
Unless we want people in the community to join. I can't guarantee us winning.
Really? You're that?
It's a physical DPS against unit against
yeah, but we're long range.
I'm short range, bro. I'm jumping in there.
All right. Are you breaking or are you just going for damage?
Breaking. 100% breaking.
Okay. So in this case, because he's single wheeled, additive break is going to be
the way to go.
The way to go. It's very interesting. I was.
You don't have. There's no multipliers you can possibly give him.
Can you give me an actual unit to compare his break to?
No, I can't.
You can't. Okay.
A fully enabled, from what I'm hearing, a fully enabled other units. He's not quite there. Like fully enabled Murren. I know Zero has said 70% fully enabled. So.
Yeah, I didn't quite understand the 70% of what Murren.
So the max of the break value, yeah, 70% of that. So not 100%, not even better than it. Just 70%. That's what he has told me. I have not gone in and ran it.
Okay.
But my thing's ready, so we can just do a little locked.
Yeah, I'll bring Homegirl, I guess.
Is he ready, actually? Because I don't have Pirate's Feast on him, so we need that.
And
Boost.
we can bring...
You'll stop Purple Orb. Yep. I can actually take most of this shit off. Let me get a little S1.
God, it's been a while since I've ever done focus
What do you
building.
Yeah, this is good. This is right. This feels right. Well, I don't need this.
Just go MP, I guess.
I'm gonna bring a revive just in case.
Yeah, honestly, it's not a bad idea.
Sorry, boys.
I'm not bringing a revive, so... Alright.
Zero, you made your own Murren. Very nice. You should go tell Dethrone that so you can finally have a Murren.
Alright.
Boys, you're welcome to come. You're welcome to bring supports. You don't really need to do any damage, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone wants to bring a unit with like the Loug UR, that's pretty solid, honestly.
Is there anything besides One Blade Breaker and there that I'm not bringing?
No.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. And it's paid, but I know you don't have that shit because you're a Luxac.
Yeah.
Luxac!
Yeah.
Second.
Dude, that Yuri pull is just...
Dude, I need to rewatch that because I was just literally just talk.
I think MB3 clipped it, so it's in the BG Discord.
Nice.
The throne got the Phoenix Blow in the building.
Dethrone's here. He's also listening, so that's good. Congratulations on your Murrin, buddy.
Oh, he finally got Murrin? Is that what you just said?
No. I remember I read Zero's message, and basically dual wielding Stahn with break is Murrin.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. All right, we need one more.
Anyone
Who's
else?
coming with? Who's supporting us?
Show off your stuff. Don't need to be worried about.
Yeah, we don't.
Bringing.
Just literally bring out like a level 1 tile. It's fine.
Exactly. You can bring a meme.
Or bring beast.
As long as there's no foolery going on, it's fine. Let's get the carry. Someone bring a beast hunter. That'd be dope. Or the loot you want.
We got 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And I'm just going.
I'm fine with that decision. Well, you gotta actually bring it. I see a lot of talking in the chat, but not a lot of doing.
A lot of talking. Too bad. We're going. That wasn't quite 20 seconds, but it's been long enough.
Yeah. So 3 of them. See how this goes. We just start spamming.
Just so stupid. Dude, I love quick S1s.
Quick S1s are nice. I will say, Yuri's S1 is very fast.
Oh, it's so fast.
It's not. It's very pleasant. Yeah.
All right. My goal here
Uh-huh.
is to S1 until I run out, and then just hit the boss as hard as I can.
Okay. I mean, I would just stay back and then S1 to the HP locks.
There's no... Yep, see there? So you see the visual?
Whoa. Okay.
I'm breaking over here.
I'm cool with that.
I'm taking the hits, bro.
Yeah, why are you doing that,
Sacrificing
bro?
with the team.
I got you, bro. Don't worry. Oh.
He's pretty nuts.
All right.
2, 3, 4. We go.
All right.
See the animation too? The HP lock breaking? And
Yeah.
it tells you when
that is a great change.
Thank God.
That's wonderful, actually.
Yep.
So good for
Big
them.
time.
Good job, Adis.
Do you like my sticker?
Took you long enough. When did we get these bosses?
A year and a half ago.
A year and a half?
I mean, Filmmaking's been around since last summer.
Mm-hmm.
Like late last summer.
So Stahn's pretty cool. I'm not mad at that.
Stahn's very fun.
I'm not mad at that. I
like,
will say.
I've mentioned before, he is my favorite of the 3. Mostly because he does remind me quite a bit of Adel, and that's a very good thing.
Of course. Of course.
Very good thing.
Yeah.
Not quite the same, but very good.
Do you want to do do you just want to do the multiplayer boss lineup you were talking about?
We don't have the option, do we? We don't have Necrosion.
Oh, Necrosion was the other one you wanted.
Necrosion was the other one I would love to do with Luke. And of course I could do Yuri with Vajra, but I don't think that's necessary.
What did we
I'm not going to be able to build the OL buff up by the time we kill the boss. Like, there's no point.
Right.
So, You do Bahamut. I know Zero wants to get in and do Bahamut with 4 Lukes.
With 4 Lukes and crazy Icy Guardian. One person
I mean,
runs.
Icy Guardian, Heaven's Bow, Star-Lord, and then,
Someone
the issue with... the best thing about the boss is that Neutral's very good. He has massive attribute shields, as you know.
Yeah.
So it's like not.
Well,
It's not ideal, but I know he wants to get it to work.
You would
so
need
we'll
to
do that.
bring the. I think it'd be possible if you brought if someone brought Theo level 10.
Oh well, that was his thought too. But it's the shields that matter. It's not necessarily the resist, because you can use Trishul on him and ignore all the resistances. It's fine.
Yeah, it's that shield.
It's the shields, man. But yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Well.
What are we looking forward to next week? Time trials.
Time trials.
There's not going to be any podcast, obviously. We rarely do it. You know what? Actually, that's a lie.
What's a lie?
In 2 weeks. No. In 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
What we're getting after the collab is important, because that's going to be the time frame of what about mid-December? That's going to be our winter unit.
Yeah. Welcome
So
another
last year
ice unit.
Was an absolutely cracked unit named XBet. Saintly little bit.
If you're wondering why I have 75k that I'm not going under.
Bro, I feel you. If you expect another XBet, God bless. This unit is cracked as all hell. So, yeah. Going to be very interesting as who comes next. That's going to turn into 2 weeks of probably a winter unit, our seasonal unit that's going to be around. And, they may not be that good, but a lot of us really want another ice unit, a top-tier ice unit. This is their time to do that. So, we'll see. I guess Shift Leona is still very, very good. I forget about her sometimes. But another ice physical DPS is going to be great. And, especially like a non-seasonal, non-collab would be great. A DOH permanent unit for ice would be really nice, but they haven't done that at all in forever. But yeah, expect a really good unit coming out in 2 weeks. And then after that, we got the New Year celebration with another unit, probably another UR, as we have seen pretty much every year for now. Except for the very first year, of course. And then New Year celebration, and then we get into January, and then probably another collab at the end of January. So, there's some good stuff coming. It's just, we're going to have to wait for it. This collab has been good. It's just been, the free ticket, I think, for me, is the best part about these collabs, is that every single person that plays is going to get an OP-ass DPS. Either Luke or Stahn. And building them out is up to you. That's a big deal. On the tier list, mind you, on the tier list, we have them both rated at 9.3 and 9.4. Luke and Stahn, respectively. For free? One of them? Damn.
Sounds like a good way to retain players.
Well, to retain many players, yes, Booda. Yes. But yeah, that's all I got, Booda. What do you think? We knew this was going to be a long one because we knew we had to go over the other units that dropped a week ago.
It's definitely going to be a long one. I'm good with going into closing remarks.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's reasonable.
If you're ready for the big announcement.
I don't know what the big announcement is. Do I?
Yeah, you do. I got your approval on this.
All right, continue with it, then I'll try to remember.
So as I mentioned in my see you later last Cloudia video, obviously LC content has come to a screeching halt for your boy Booda. But with you guys, with community friends that I have made, with the amount of time we've put into the game, with our boy Tweaks here to educate us all, POWERCREEP podcast is set to continue. What I didn't mention is that we're going to be changing the time. For the second time. Because if you remember, once upon a time, we used to do these at noon on a Friday?
Midday Friday, yeah.
And we changed it.
Wild.
9 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday, update day. So we're changing it for a third time per your boy Booda. This is totally, I ran this by tweaks just to fit into my schedule. So I guess the whole setup with that explanation is that my schedule is changing, as you can imagine, with this adjustment in content creation with adjustment in life. A lot of other things behind the scenes are happening. So the podcasts are still going to happen on update days. Thursdays typically. Obviously, we have weird schedule changes when LC changes their update day, but still happening on update days. But we are going to make it earlier in the day, 3 p.m. Eastern time, right? So
3? I didn't agree to this shit.
Check the logs, Tweaks.
I'm kidding. Yeah, 3
Don't
p.m. Eastern
right
time.
now.
I do think it's going to be a little rougher for people to get here. I do say that because we'll have Eastern Coast people that's still going to be during work hours, West Coast people that's still going to be during work hours, and we do have a lot of people that play Gacha, especially this game, that are, you know, mid-20s and higher, maybe even the 30s, and even more. So, like Old Man Carp, he's like 65. So, it's it'll be difficult for some people to get here. Just remember that they're all replays.
You didn't have to do them like that, bro.
There. Yeah, but he does me dirty all the time. You know this.
Yes, I am aware of that decision.
Yes.
So it will be a big adjustment. It'll be at the smack dab of people's work days. However, the VOD will also be up at the same time. So
yeah, and if you can make it, maybe even watch us during work, like hell yeah.
Listen, a lot of people have some nice office jobs. They don't need ears to do.
Cushy.
So, yeah, just an adjustment that we're making. We wanted to obviously not just do it today and then throw everyone off with zero announcement. So today we wanted to do it as scheduled, but make that officially known that the podcast time is changing. Obviously, if you still want to watch it at 9, the VOD will be up. It just won't be a live experience as much. So that's it. That's it. Other than that,
perfect. I literally forgot that was something you needed to say.
I see that.
When you said big announcement, I said, what could possibly be that big? And I was like, I don't know, time check. You got me going there for a little bit. I just definitely did not remember.
Yeah. And I mean, and then in terms of just me making LC content, a big problem I've noticed is because I've now taken such a back seat on my grinding of this game, like I'm not set up to make videos at the same pace anymore, like unit builds and all that good stuff. So it just decentivizes me more, right? So none of that's really changing, but very happy for you, Unshadow Band.
I appreciate it, and I appreciate everyone in the community for that specific notion, that everyone who supported me and who has stuck by my side for the whole thing. So I appreciate all that. I mean, it's pretty obvious from my excitement in the last video that I made that it's reignited me a little bit into excitement for the game itself, because not feeling like your progress is being wasted is nice to have. So we'll see what I can do to pick up the slack a little bit. I know other content creators have been planning on picking up some slack because Daddy Booda decided to go for smokes, you know.
We'll see if I come back with the milk.
Yeah, we'll see. Podcast is still going to be hype, but we'll see what changes. I mean, there's always everything in the future that is going to change for the better. So we're going to see about keeping it that way.
Exactly. So
for sure.
Thank you guys for coming out to this pod after a drought of content. Thank you for continuing to support myself, Tweaks. Of course, go give other LC content creators some love. That Zero Plays is stepping up, making a lot more videos. Of course, you got Dojo, you've got Nerd DK, you've got Jawline with their podcast, the Cap Raise podcast. So
yeah, zero. Yep.
So
this will be a good time. There's a good people are picking up the slack a little bit, so it's good.
Exactly. Information of LC will still be out there. Thank you to Tweaks, of course, always holding it down. And again,
Welcome,
big
homie.
congratulations.
Let's
I'm going
go.
to keep my hashtag TWEACZISFREE for a very long time.
Nice.
And I think that's all we got for you this time, guys.
Yep, a nice thick old 2-hour boy.
Nice thick 2-hour pod. It's been a while, but it was well deserved and definitely needed to cover everything. But we'll see y'all during Christmas time, later December. And with all that being said, y'all know what we say. Work hard, play hard. See you in the next podcast.